Hi guys. So today I'm going to explain you more about the segmentation. So I will tell you the basic information about it now to understand it better, and this will be partially channeled at the same time right now. So first of all, I wanted to make clear the fact that those numbers correspond to dimensions. Naturally, you can understand universal knowledge. So UK is universal knowledge. That each of the dimensions will have the characteristic of what I've been telling you about when I've been explaining about it a little bit. So the form, bodies for example, the world, environment, the inner dimension, the inside of you, your soul, your feelings, your spirit, the transcendent dimension of yourself, and the link between the forms, the connection between the connections inside of the world, the universal knowledge that works to create and to put in movement. It rules on the inner dimensions of everything, because inner dimension is not just inside of humans, it is inside of everything. An atom has an inner dimension. It is a kind of generic word term. Inner dimension, you can apply it to different objects. So, and yes, 8 being the self, but I won't write it now. So either we can be talking about, for what I'm about to say, we can be talking about both of those two images. So energy, which is the only thing that really exists, and which is you, which is me, which is everything, it is the reason for this world to exist. So when it comes into this world, it passes through those dimensions. And in the segmentation, we see the dimension inside of segments as segments. Those are the segments. So what I'm telling you right now is that the energy will go through each of those segments. So you understand better what is about the segmentation. It is a point of view concerning the humans, their connection together, their connection to themselves, a connection that one has to oneself, to himself or herself, and the connection to the higher dimension, the higher world, spiritual and mystic. So it really englobes, I think I can say that, all of the human existence. It's like a whole life which is inside of it. From when you're born to a 90-year-old person, there is everything inside of it. All the more that he is the upper dimensions. So even if you consider someone being enlightened or having mystical experiences, you can still understand it's his path and himself through the segmentation, which is the 8 is a. But really spirit contains almost in itself all of the other dimensions. If I talk about spirit or 7 in any way, I will be able to incorporate truth of the higher dimensions without making a nonsense. Because in the higher dimensions, everything is about inclusion. And as I told you that in creation, all of this is reversed. You can understand that here we go to up, but as it is reversed in life, this is inside of you. This is the external, and we go inside and deeper inside. So if the 7 is inside of you, all of the upper dimensions and structures are inside of you too. But we're looking at the dimensional system from the consciousness point of view. And so, from this point of view, everything is in the normal sense, in the first sense, just before the creation happens. It is the sense of the conceptual creation. That's why we look at the dimensional system in this way. We are having a creator point of view, conceptualizer point of view, the point of view of an engineer, I think we say that, of someone who understands the plans of something, and not of the one who experienced the things. But anyway, you can switch from one to another, and that's the beauty of life, so anyone can do it. So, and you do it most of the time when you are taking care of someone, when you're protective, you are inside of that creative space, that conceptual space, because you're spirit, you're totally spirit at this moment. You're ready to act, and you're open to any situations that could arise. You're open to the infinity of the possibilities in this state, but you don't realize it. Anyway, when you get the a more far point of view, I don't know how we said, a deeper point of view, I don't know, a larger point of view, you see it. That's why I see it. That's why I'm sharing it with you. What I just said before. And when you're enjoying something, you're in the real life, in the experience point of view, and you're chilling. So we all switch from one to another. That's okay. It's not just me. So here we are. This is clarified. Yeah, clearly that was what I wanted to say here. We'll have a look at this little part here. So if you understand the first segment, you remember forms, link, and a world. It is a place where the form, the being, or the energy, when it is located in the first dimension, will be represented as this point. So, sorry. When we are talking about the first segment, the energy is inside of this first segment. So the being, life, the one being, is inside of this first segment. He is starting to experience its life in its incarnation. Any incarnation, we just take anyone. It's just for the example. So when it is in the first segment, it can be represented as this sphere, which is its body principally, basically. Those around are possibilities. They lead to experiences. It's the second dimension. For example, you start breathing water, you cough. Breathing water, the link to water that you used, and you used it in the way of breathing it, has made you live in something, coughing. It has led you to something, an experience, coughing. So here it's the possibilities. So this is the form. So it connects to different possibilities, to different elements outside of it. And this connection of those two elements, the form plus the objects outside of it, lead them to an experience in the world, so in the third dimension. It leads them together. In the example of coughing, the water gets expulsed from the person who has breathed it, and the person is starting coughing, so it changes its state. He's living an experience in the 3D world because he's coughing, because obviously he's breathing, so he's connected to the world by the air. So it's in the world. It's noisy, so it's in the world too. Then when we get to the second segment, this is how it looks. So second segment would be this big structure here, but also the two things here. So remember, second segment is about a part of the world, the connection, the inner dimension, and a part of the universal intelligence or universal knowledge. Remember, it's the 3, 4, 5, 6. So all of these things, universal knowledge, material, etc., etc., this is it. And in A, the energy just flows through it directly. You don't go like A in this space, no, it just flows like A. But as it is flowing, it is perceiving, it is capturing, it is bounding to energies, it takes them with it. So it passes. There is energy there. It's not really there is energy, but it passes inside of this tube. And when it passes here, there is some energy that get caught on it, that get took with it, that sticks to it. So it takes a lot of energy, more and more energy, and it goes here. And all this energy will create the persona, the inner dimension that we're talking about. So it's more complex, but it's just to present you the way of seeing those segments visually. So it's a different experience than from here. What leads to here from here to here? It's mostly the fusion with the world and the need to understanding more, the need of understanding more. That leads you to the fourth dimension, which leads you in the second segment. Because understanding is about connection. It's about giving attention to something, paying attention, and really caring about the thing because you want to understand it, because you're genuinely curious. And so when you arrive here by your curiosity and your genuine your genuine interest, and here you flow through that. You take a lot of energy, and then when you're full and you have enough of energy around you, you have a structure around you, you get in the third segment. So how do you get there? When you start wanting to experience directly, because you understand that direct experience transcends knowledge. So when you're at this stage, you want to experience things directly without passing by the glasses of the knowledge you have. And so you enter this kind of world, which is a part, which is normal, space as we know it, and the whole part, which is totally the opposite. So this is the spiritual and mystic place, the third segment. On this part, which is the opposite, it is where you can lose yourself, we can say, you can get lost. But it's easy to come back because there is a big way, a big door just here. And when you're here, you feel it because it's really spacious. There's a big distinction between this space, this 15% we're gonna say place where living is good in the third segment, and this 85% place where living can be from adventurous to dangerous to you just would like to be. So this is because there is a duality at work in this world, in everything. Even though I told you some dimensions are about non-duality, they are about non-duality. But the structure will always have a duality. Anything has a duality in itself if it's manifested. So you will understand it later if it's not clear for you right now. Don't worry. So, in the third segment, I was telling you that so I gotta focus again a little bit. It's a place which is good to live. Okay, there's a duality, and as this place is really full of light, it is really super beautiful, we're gonna say, it has to have an opposite, which will be super dark, super dark. And as it is really beautiful, it's smaller, Reality has its ways of unfolding, as I told you, and once you start understanding the meta ways of it to unfold, as the expansion and contraction, for example, this is the good living contracted on itself, so it's even more dense as good living. But as it is contracted, the good living, here there is the kind of bad, quote to quote bad, we could say, living, which is an expansion. It is the duality, the polar opposite. So they go together. When you know how to navigate, you can put yourself in a safe place, around here. Anyway, we'll talk about this later. I hope you liked it, guys. It's a little bit of work for me to do this, as I'm concentrated, focused a lot. So I will stop here, and I wish you a good time until next time. Bye. See you.